Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 378th running of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. My name is Kieran Redman, and I am joined, as ever, by my good friend and colleague, Xibin Liu. Xibin, how are we doing tonight?
Hello, everyone, and hello, Kieran. It is nice to see you guys again. Today, I'm really excited. We have a really interesting combination, and I'm really hyped to see what will happen.
A very interesting combination indeed, and my, where is the time going? This is round number 4 of 25 of the 2026 season, and if the first 3 rounds are anything to go by, we will need to stand by for action. Our championship leader, having been on the run of his life with 3 wins in a row, was finally usurped by TJ. Can Laguskas fight back? Can TJ continue his revolution, or will a new pretender to the crown rise up? All this and more live here on Sim Broadcasts. With prize money on the table, it is no wonder the fighting is so fierce, and we again thank World Class Lions organisation for their support of this amazing championship. But tonight, you can see on the screen, we visit Fern Bay, and we will be using the green reversed layout, coming in at a tad over 3 kilometres, and we are set for 31 laps this evening. The circuit itself has appeared twice previously in the series, but we have elected to turn it and indeed reverse it. Our drivers will be running the circuit clockwise for the very first time here on the RTFR Championship this evening. The vehicle of choice should feel like a trusty old pair of shoes for our drivers. The proverbial old faithful, the FZ50 GTR, better known as the FZR, is available in the base game, and our drivers should feel right at home behind the wheel. Rear-engined, rear-wheel drive, 3.6-litre boxer 6-cylinder with 490 brake horsepower and weighing in at 1,100 kilos should prove a handful for some of our drivers. Well, let's take a look at those drivers' standings. We have Gabba at the top of these standings, having been on a great run of form with 63 points to his name over the first 3 rounds. Sidus Unite close behind, potentially some history to be made by him this evening, but we'll come on to him depending on how his race is indeed running with 62 points, 1 point behind the leader. Laguga, having had 2 wins prior to coming into round number 3, unfortunately falling victim of a disconnect, finds himself on 55 points and now slightly adrift from the 2 top contenders. B-Tug is in P4, last round's winner. DJ is in P5 with 46 points to his name, tied with Thamuli, the world's most valuable driver, with the most points scored in the last 15 rounds of running. Michael is in top P7, Twin Cam P8, Rony is in P9, and Mad Jester rounds out in top 10. But let's take a look at those quali results. It is Sufor on pole. It's a great lap from him with a time of 59 seconds, 0.9. He's the only driver to go sub 1 minute in this car, so watch for him to be nice and fast this evening. Laguga is looking to make up for last round and solidify himself at the top of the standings there with P2. Matty 14 in P3, Sidus Unite in P4, JSK in P5, T-Bug P6, Gabri P7, Hachiroku P8, Thamuli in P9, and Rony rounding out the top 10. It's Mosi Makari in P11, and last round's winner TJ slightly off the pace there, running in P12, Michael P13, Aska P14, Manchester P15, Valhalkopus in P16, Martin P17, Rayman P18, Ride in P19, and Tazka in P20. Our last runners and riders, 25 people here this evening. We've got Hossip P21, Yanni Katia P22, Mega in P23, Nando P24, and Hermani will prop up the table P25 with Batista, unfortunately not making it into the round this time. Well, with all that being said there, Xibin, we've dialed up the horsepower and we've dialed up the downforce this evening. So what can the drivers expect from this car and track combination tonight?
We have to see a lot of speed, a lot of overtakes, but also a lot of door-to-door battles. We might be also seeing really tight sections such as chicanes, the first part of the track and the last part of the track are really important because they are really, really tight and they give you all the momentum to keep that velocity, keep that speed, and yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a very, very fast lap. Obviously, sub 1 minute. Only one driver was able to break that barrier, and we'll have to wait and see if others can join him and does that pace increase through the lap. But I'm just hearing we are starting to grid up and we are getting ready for you this evening at Fern Bay. You can see all of our drivers lined up here, raring to go. It's Sufor on pole, Unite in second. We have red lights on the screen, and it is green and go here at Fern Bay. Wheel spin, tyre smoke, full smoke screen deployed off the start finish straight. They all get away cleanly. It's Laguga looking to challenge Sufor. Around the outside, side by side they go. But here comes Unite up the inside. Fantacular stuff there. Brilliant. I've invented a new word. I can't quite believe the maneuver that was just pulled off there by Unite. Sufor and Laguga battling away, and it opened the door clean for Unite to step through, but Laguga is going backwards. P4 for the man on the run of his life. Like I said, everything went slightly adrift last round, and things are going the same way this time around. We've got TJ, last round's winner, looking for an opportunity to elevate himself up ahead there, but nothing doing. I believe that's Motu Makari that's found his way ahead of him. Very nice work from him. We can see TJ up ahead there. That is Rony in the green car there, ever present, clapping the curbs there. Fantastic stuff there from these riders. That was a great move from Unite there, Xibin.
Absolutely, he went through like Lewis Hamilton on Silverstone 2022, if I'm right. And obviously, it was really, really good overtake right here, as we see Hachiroki going wide at the grass on the exit, as we see Laguga going through the chicanes. He goes through the walls, tie wall, and JSK is trying to see any mistakes, to see any any chance to overtake Laguga.
Yeah, Laguga turned himself into a giant yellow bowling ball there, and the tyre wall were considered to be the Skittles there at the front of that. But Unite, not wanting to infringe on trademark here, but through goes Unite there, up the inside of the pair of them while they were scrapping away. But he has not been able to get away from Sufor. The man on pole and the man on the Pacers have kept him honest, just under half a second here. And you can see Sufor is taking all of these great curbs and apexes, with JSK running a tad wide there at one of the turns, and that's left him very vulnerable to the packing. He's being swallowed up by them all. He's lost 2 places. Could he lose a couple more? We'll have to wait and see. But JSK bunny hops over the curb, and we've got a car off wide. Just about keeps it out the wall. It's T-Bug there, able to just about resolve this big contact and huge contact on the start finish straight. That is TJ in the wall, with huge damage to the right-hand side of his vehicle. It's a slightly safe rejoin, but everyone's trying to scramble for position. Up the inside, more contact there, and another car in the wall. TJ finds himself coming a cropper there with Nando into the Armco, but hopefully he took that fairly head-on, so hopefully not too much damage to the suspension and geometry of that vehicle. Chaos, Xibin.
Absolutely, we've seen an enormous mistake from some MRC driver that we saw colliding with TJ at the main straight, as we see Sufor taking the lead from Unite. He's making a really big, really decent gap right now. And right now we are going to the final section of the track, heading to the chicane, as we see Thehemuli in front of Rony. And it makes really the last part of the corner, that we'll see what he can do on the rest of the race.
It's all come undone for TJ there. He claimed his 6th win of the RTFR career here in the last round, and he has never won 2 rounds in a row, and it's looking highly unlikely that he will be able to accomplish that this evening. He'll have to save that accolade for another day, but look at who is on the move. It's Laguga with the fastest lap of the race, and he is currently sitting in P3, looking to hunt down Unite, as Sufor has been able to, I believe, elevate himself ahead of Unite and open the gap to 1.3 seconds. So his pace from qualifying has certainly been carried over, and he looks to extend his advantage at the front. But Unite is there in P2. We've got another car just rubbing up against the wall there. Couldn't quite see who that was, but we're on board now with Ride there. You can see here Right, just going there ahead and into the braking zone. And we have a car off into the gravel there. That's T-Bug. Oh, what a shame for T-Bug. He's caught in the kitty litter, and that looks like that's pretty much game over as he elects not to dig himself out. And I am hearing in my ear that he has gone. So our first victim here at the Fern Bay reverse track. And the Gusgas makes a move for second place, Xibin. He's up to second place and ahead of Unite. A storming start from Unite, but he is now falling backwards.
Absolutely, I think the pace was there, but wasn't enough to defend against Laguga. But obviously, it's the lap 5 of 31. We might see more action as we see them going through the Wall of Champions. But again, it is long race, and we will have to see how Unite will manage this race, if he can try to battle for the victory or drop down from that podium.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if Unite can stay on the tail of Laguga, who is looking to push on and close the gap. 2.4 seconds the difference between himself and Sufor at the front of the field, growing slightly now to 2.5 seconds now, slightly growing. But here we have other names and contenders here like Hachiroku and Thamuli, who have had great races the past couple of rounds here and find themselves again in the top 10 right at the front of the order. And with the absence of that tyre wall there, drivers elected to take more curb, and it bit badly there for Hachiroku. All four wheels elevated up and off the ground, full takeoff there for Hachiroku, and Thamuli has elevated himself ahead. Great work from Thamuli, as I'm hearing in my ear that TJ is backwards there, and Mad Jester's backwards there as well. I think, yeah, TJ collided with Mad Jester. This race has gone from good to bad to worse to awful for TJ. He just can't seem to get a clean lap in at the moment. A real shame there for him, and he is dealing with a bit of damage. But again, in the sprint style format race here, Xibin, there's not really much point coming and collecting and repairing that damage, because he's going to leave himself so far down.
It's not a very lucky race for TJ. We've seen him making a lot of mistakes, but I'm still wondering what will he do from now on, because he's right now P19, and obviously, as a fast racer, you would like to be on the top 3, or at least battle for the victory, yeah? But again, TJ is right behind of all the top 10, and it might be frustrating for him to stay right there, as we see Gabri trying to close the gap with Hachiroku. Goes to the inside of that corner, goes up the uphill, goes round the outside, tries to make a move, but he contacts Hachiroku. He almost contacted as well with Rony. He tries to see the gap on Hachiroku, but he doesn't make it.
Rony picking the pockets of both Hachiroku and Gabri there, coming up the inside, says, "Thank you very much, I'll take that, and both those positions are mine." Great work from Rony there, P8 to P6, a 2-for-1 special from him. But Hachiroku is coming back here, and he sits in the draft. We'll see how they look through the chicane here. Rony runs wide. Can he keep his foot in? Keep your foot in, lad, keep your foot in. And there he goes. Through goes Hachiroku, and Rony goes one step back, and Moti Makari is through as well there on Gabri. So Moti Makari elevates himself. We've got moves aplenty. We've certainly never been to this reversed layout before, but it is proving fantastic for overtaking opportunities. But you have to be so brave in those chicanes, particularly in the first section there as well. Drivers are risking it all and taking as much curb as they can. A real DTM philosophy being applied here, Xibin.
It is really important. I think for my personal experience, the first corners are really difficult. You need to carry so much speed. On the last corner, obviously, you have one line that is the best one, and as long as you don't hit the tires, you should be good. But here on the first corner, you have the curbs that are really high. You have got the tire wall, which are blocking from your way, and possibly if it goes under your car, you can go airborne. As we see Tasca trying to make a move here on, as I said before, I think there was Reed. It was Reed trying to make through to Tasca. He went he went straight to the tire wall as we see someone hitting.
Oh, up and over, and big contact, and airborne goes both those vehicles. Ride is caught up in that. I can't quite work out who else was involved there, but we had cars up and over. It was Aska in the yellow vehicle, and what chaos has unfolded there. And you could just see all the curb taken. The car got elevated and airborne, rolled, turned on its roof, and then was collected as the cars came through there. Huge accident, and hopefully that can clear by the time that our leaders come through. We'll stand by for an update, and I can see that the track is now cleared and it green flags through that section for our leaders. That shouldn't prove any kind of interruption, but again, this is the risk versus reward that we are talking about, and the tricky nature that Xibin was mentioning there. This track is not easy, and it punishes and bites big time.
From other truckers, I think this is the most punishing one. Obviously, you've got South City, but again, we're looking for speed and momentum. He is really important. He's very crucial, as we see Manchester trying to make a move on Danny Catila, but again, he's staying behind. He is closing the gaps on the chicane. Apparently, here on the first corner, we see how he's closing that gap as he tries to get on the inside, but he can't make it. He doesn't have enough momentum right there. He's trying to get the curbs and try to see on the next corners.
My word, blink and you miss it. It's lap 11 of 31. Where has the time gone? I was mentioned earlier how the year was going fast, but this race is going rapid as well. The guys are running at such a pace at the front of this track. And again, it's really interesting. Laguga finds himself with the fastest lap, but cannot make inroads into Sufor, who just seems to be managing this to an absolute T at the front of the field. 4.4 seconds, the gap between Sufor on the front on your screen right now in that purple machine to Laguga in P2. There you are, 4.4 seconds, purple versus yellow, very distinctive vehicles. And you've got Unite running in P3, a further 1 second behind Laguga and trying to chase them down. JSK is in P4 there as well, and we're hearing that Mad Jester, his race is a complete shambles at this stage with heavy damage. He's been off again and found himself the victim of another incident. It is just not his day, unfortunately.
Apparently he has been hitting Tasca, as we see Tasca once again. Tasca battling with TJ. It's TJ or Tasca. TJ hits the wall of champions. Really well, characteristic here, as we see Rony two wheels right on the exit of that chicane. Really careful with that, with the curbs in this track. Oh, it was Redman. Apologies. As we see once again Tasca and TJ trying to make. Well, TJ trying to make a pass on Tasca, but we are seeing really good run from TJ. It's not enough to make a move here, and it's going to be really risky if he tries to do a too wide here, as we've seen other drivers crashing out and ending their race right here in the same point as Kieran.
It is such fine margins with the Armco barrier through the first chicane of this track. It is brilliant stuff. It's like the chicane in the pool section at Monaco. Get as close as you dare, but my word, we've seen it bite when it goes wrong. And here is a run from TJ. Shows the nose up the inside. Tasca keeps his foot in. He will not back down, but great respect given between the two of them. But TJ goes up the inside and round, but Tasca will try and fight this through the next section. And no, slows down, backs himself away, just caught in the dirty air and the wake of TJ. TJ elevates himself up to P14, continues his march back up the field following a series of incidents, and Tasca running in P15. But at the front here, we've got Hachiroku running in P6 in the purple, in the red machine there. I apologize there. And we've got Gabri behind him. I apologize. Nope, got it right. Hachiroku in the purple car and Moto McElroy. Yeah, Familia in the purple and Hachiroku in the red there. So you can see Hachiroku is trying to stay in his wheel tracks, both following a very similar line. These two can probably work together to catch up to the front of the field here. You've got Rony just behind them there as well in the green machine, but this is up to P5. They find themselves cut slightly adrift of the top four at the moment, but this is where the action is certainly taking place, Xibin.
Absolutely. I think Hachiroku has been looking really nice in this race, and obviously on the previous rounds he has been really consistent, and obviously he's a really good driver, and we will see what he can make tonight, if he can pass on Thermuli, or we will see his fate.
Oh, and we've got a car running wide there, and just gathering it all up. That was Vakopus there, just about getting it back on all four wheels, going full rallycross. We've seen several drivers do that this evening, and up and over the chicane our drivers go through, but Martin is looking for his opportunity to elevate himself into the P11, and Vakopus has timed out. I'm hearing Oscar has timed out, unfortunately, so we've had another drop out to the timing tower this evening. We've had a couple of big incidents and a couple of technicals, unfortunately, which has seen this field dwindle, but that means more points are on offer for our runners and riders who are thinking about that prize money at the end of the series come early December. And one man thinking of that prize money is Sufor, who is leading from the front here, the pole man, the only man to get under 1 minute in qualifying, runs P1 with the new fastest lap of the race. I was thinking about when he was going to be able to put that in. 6 seconds his advantage to second place man Laguga, and looking to start lapping a couple of vehicles now.
He's having a commanding lead, as we see. Gianni Catilla being lapped by Sufor. Apparently Manchester and Hermione has been lapped by Sufor, as we see the beach section going to the final straight and going through the chicane shortly, as we can see him jumping. And back markers behind him, obviously, but he's having a really commanding lead from Laguga, as we see Gabri trying to make a pass on Mutumukari. He going down on the beach section, trying to close up that gap, but he might want to wait for the next lap to make a move.
Yeah, so hard to follow through on these chicane sections here, and TJ is continuing his march up the order as he's looking at the back of Rayman now in the bright green machine there. But TJ has had a race of two halves. He was caught up in several incidents at the start of this race, but he's continuing to march back up the order and reclaim some points for his championship campaign. Again, last round's winner, certainly has the pace, but has just not had the fortune at the start of it. But we are just crossing over half distance now. Can TJ climb his way back into the top 10? We'll have to wait and see. Gets it slightly wrong through there, all four wheels up and over the second part of that chicane, but keeps it pointing in the right direction, and more importantly, out of the Armco barrier himself. And a bit of a mistake there for Rayman, and TJ is looking up the inside. No, nothing doing there, not quite the right place, but that has cost him time. Expect TJ to elevate himself ahead of Rayman here. I think the pace is there, but this battle continues as well between Thamuli and Hachi Roku. I think Hachi Roku's just elevated himself ahead of Thamuli there as well. Both of them had a bit of a brush with the wall of champions from what I'm hearing, but Hachi Roku comes out the better of it, running in P5 and 26 seconds behind the leader Sufor. Some time to be made up there, that is for sure. And ever present is the series organizer Rony, running in P7 there, going through the chicane very nicely, looking to elevate himself into the top 5 should the opportunity arise. And there is Motu Makari running in P8 as well. Xibin, we'll take a moment then. C4's lead continues to grow to 8.1 seconds the advantage. Can Unite find his way back to Laguga, and can Laguga make inroads into Sufor? It's not looking likely at the moment.
I think it's going to be really hard for Unite to catch up to Sufor. Maybe he can catch up to Laguga, but he has to take the he has to understand a bit more. He has to find the seconds that he is lack, because obviously we know that Laguga and Sufor are really fast drivers, but he cannot make anything if he, first of all, he's not fast, and second of all, if he's not really consistent. Laguga might get lose concentration, and he might lose some time, but that is a really good chance for Unite to cut up. But again, it depends a lot of Unite's consistency and pace.
Consistency and pace indeed. And I've got one heck of a stat here for you this evening in relation to Unite, and I've been slightly concerned about raising this for fear of putting in the dreaded commentator's curse on his race, but his P3 looks pretty solid right now. If Unite finishes inside the top 5, he will be tied with R. Cardle for the most top 5 finishes with 106 for this particular championship. 106 top 5 finishes. What consistency for the man in purple, and he has shown his class over the last few rounds that I've had the privilege of commentating on, but certainly one of the top contenders here on Live for Speed, Xibin.
Yeah, that's big numbers for Unite. He's a really good driver. As we see, he loses position with Johnny's. He's okay. Talking about commentators' curse, we are seeing Unite's tire having some kind of positive camber. Anyway, that is awkward. He's trying to make his way, but that is really unfortunate, Kieran.
You can't throw the mic to me now, Xibin, and my head is in my hands and I have second-hand embarrassment to the highest level. Unite, I'm sorry. Can we please cut away from him? It is making me feel so bad. What a race he was running, and I said it myself. I was hesitating to release the stat because I knew something like this would happen. I feel that we're going to have to rate to round 379 in 2 weeks' time to see if Unite can claim that amazing stat. No doubt he'll be back at the top of it, but that is one very, very hobbled car, and he is putting on the drive of the race, getting that back to the pits, and it'll be amazing if he can, Xibin.
Kieran, the pressure. I think he was listening at the broadcast. He heard your biggest number here, 106, if I am correct. That's a big number. I think Unite got a bit nervous right there. He just decides to crash it.
All I'm saying is the stat was provided by JSK, who's just slid me £20 across the table as well. So you're very welcome, JSK. Enjoy that third position. I hope you can hang on to it. But my heart does indeed go out to Unite. Puts it just in the wall there, but keeps it away from the racing line, doing the right thing here. He's going to grab and crawl that car back to the pits. Hopefully he can get that repaired, and it's just going to become a salvage job now. Can Unite climb back up inside the top 10? This is going to be certainly fun to watch for the last 10 laps. If nothing else, Xibin.
I think it's over for Unite. That might be crazy. Oi! Who's that? That is Vahakupus, if I'm right. And TJ goes through. He's inside of top 10. He's doing a really, really good job. Nevertheless, even though his race start was not the best one.
The racing gods giveth and the racing gods taketh away, and have the scales of justice never been more in balance than Unite and TJ. What a race of two halves for both of these gentlemen, and the reversal of fortunes for both of them. Unite now exit the pits, and we've got Michael there, someone in the wall there. I think it was Gabri just brushing the wall as well. We'll relay back to if he's carrying any damage, but having a big hit to the wall of champions. I think he's carrying a little bit of damage there, but we'll relay that to you when we have it. Can he continue to hang on to his P7? We'll have to wait and see. But opportunities presenting themselves to the likes of Martin here, who found himself well outside of the top 10, but now on for some big points on offer if he can elevate himself ahead of Vacopoulos there, who ran wide the last round, but luckily keeping all four wheels on the black stuff this time around, hopping over the curbs. Very nicely done. Both drivers electing to keep it on the pavement there. Really nice to see. Unite is back on track in P17, so we'll see what he can do, and if anything in terms of points being able to be salvaged. But at the front, Thamuli runs in P5. They're looking to elevate himself ahead of series organizer Rony, who has found himself in a magnificent P4. Go on, Rony, great work stuff there, Sunshine, with JSK running in P3, Laguga in P2, and Sufor in P1. We're just hearing that, Hachiroku, I was wondering where he had gone, that he's disconnected from the server, unfortunately. Again, maybe another server issue there. We've seen a couple of drivers struck down by technical issues, Xibin. That's a real shame for him.
Yeah, I think he was looking really good. I don't know what happened to him. We heard that he left the server, and that was really rallycross from the Mori right there. As we see TJ trying to make a move on Michael Malek once again. I think he crashed with Michael Malek on the lap 1. And we head into the first part. We're going to see some replay of the lap 1. Maybe not, because there's not so much momentum. And we will see which corner will TJ make that move. As we see, they're only making a move on Rony. He's up to P4, trying to chase down right now to JSK. We will see if he will manage to do that as two-wheel drive on that chicane. And yeah.
Yeah, big moment there. And Vakopis is going backwards there. He's had an excursion off on the exit there of that turn, and he finds himself incredibly vulnerable. Up the inside goes Tazka. He says, thank you very much. I'll take that position. And there we go. Rayman elevates himself into P10. TJ running in P9 and Michael in P8. Vakopis has fallen way back. That's a real shame for him. And Martin is right behind Rayman as well. Again, looking to try and get himself inside the top 10. Big points on offer for him this evening. We'll have to wait and see. Sufor has just found himself lapping all three of these gentlemen as well. He is on the form of his life. What great pace he is showing this evening. 14 seconds the gap between himself and Laguga, and it has grown exponentially as we head into the final 6 laps of this race. And it has been an event filled with chaos and absolute turmoil for many drivers. And TJ is up the inside. Can he make it work? No, the momentum is not with him. Michael able to keep his foot in and around the outside, has the pace and elevates himself ahead with 6 laps to go. He's going to be clinging on to this with his fingernails if he can try and keep TJ behind it. As you said, Xibin, both of these involved in that lap 1 incident. But I'm now hearing that Tazka is looking for a move on Steve there, but Steve elects to go around the outside, just keeping it outside of the wall of champions. But that feels like a move that might be coming very soon.
This track is giving us a lot of close calls. I've seen visually people going up the grass on the chicane entry into the beach section, as we see Vahagupus on the pit lane, wondering if he's got damage, but maybe yes, as we see TJ again on the first corner trying to... Oh, that was Michael Malek trying to, well, brush the tire wall, trying to get away from TJ in front, well, behind him, as we see TJ on board right now, behind of Michael Malek, right off his rear bumpers. We see some kind of jump, maybe losing some momentum right there from Michael Malek.
Oh!
Hits the wall of champion right there, and yeah, going down to the chicane section.
There is not a straight panel left on TJ's car there. He has hit every single panel on every single wall of this track in his effort to climb back up the order. And you would say that he's fast, but again, he's sideways. Can he catch it? Just about, keeping it pointed in the right direction, but that has cost him a huge amount of time, and that was real danger preeminent there for TJ. Again, last round's winner has been really struggling this round, but again is still on for good points. That is if he finishes, which feels like a real 50-50 call right now. And Sufor is right behind him, and he is going to elevate himself ahead of TJ. No doubt blue flags will be shown, and it is for TJ to position himself in such a way that he's not going to impact Sufor's race, although he looks like there's no intent to slow or move. Feel maybe things on pit. There he goes on the brakes, moves out of his way. Sufor elevates himself ahead of TJ. He's going to be able to lap the field at this rate.
I think we saw this similar pace gap on Retro Cup. Obviously, that was an endurance race, and probably we've seen this in more endurance races. We see a gap between Sufor and Laguga of 24.3 seconds, as we see Tasca trying to follow up with that is Steve Martin lapping Hermione. That's the second time that Hermione's been lapped twice, or right, so I think it's been 3 times right now being lapped, as we see going Tasca on the first section of the track. Slides right there, but trying to catch it, he does. He's trying to close up once again the gap, but he is trying hard as much as he can. As we see Steve Martin closing up on Raymond. Raymond trying to get... Oh, I think that was Michael Mallet trying to get out of try to distance from TJ. TJ goes through the grass right there.
Sorry to cut across you there, Xibin. We've got Laguskas in the pits here. Is he out of fuel or out of tyres? From P2, he finds himself falling down the order. This is huge for his championship. My word, he's elected to come in and repair the damage. I'm not sure what kind of strategy this is, but P7, that is huge. And P8, P9, he might be out of the top 10 at this rate, Xibin. I don't know how he's going to be able to recover these positions. Surely he could have carried on for the last 3 laps.
It's really late. That I didn't expect Laguga making that. Going to the pit lane. It's absolutely unexpected. And again, I was focused so much into TJ's and Michael Malik's battle, as we see him trying to make a move on the inside. Maybe not. He chooses to stay behind, and obviously TJ might want to rush on that 7th positions, because the race is the finish, the checker flag is going to be really soon.
This is a defensive masterclass from Michael. He is putting his car in every place that TJ wants his to be. Brilliant work here from Michael, and a great attacking drive from TJ, who's living it all out on the proverbial field here this evening. Laguga has rejoined in P12, but this again elevates JSK up to P2. It's going to be a great result for him this evening, and Sufor looks on track to finish this race up in P1, with Thamuli running in P3. Again, our most valuable driver, going to be picking up a real big haul of points this evening, with a gap of 6 seconds to JSK there as well. And series organizer Rony is only 1.4 seconds behind Thamuli here. So this battle for the podium is not quite done, Xibin. A small mistake here from Thamuli will allow and open the door up to the likes of Rony and Motu Makari here, who's running in a fantastic P5 for him as well. We're going to see a real shake-up in the championship, that's for sure.
Yeah, we will see what Rony will do and Motomokari. Obviously, they both are contenders until the end of the race, as we see Sufor going to the last part of the chicane. I think he's going to do lap number 31. Yes, absolutely, he's doing the final lap, as we see again the battle with Michael Malik and TJ. Again, Michael Malik is in front of TJ. He's trying to preserve that P7. He's trying all with his soul to try and block this rocket TJ, as we see now on the straight, trying to get the slipstream. Michael Malik protects the inside. He tries to block the apex once again. Blocks the inside. Ooh, that is TJ hitting the wall of champions, and I think it's over for him.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's game, set and match to Michael, and what a fantastic drive from him, and a great defensive maneuver, and the frustration finally getting the better of TJ. But one man who's had no such issues tonight is the man, the myth, the man in purple. TJ crosses the line and finishes up P1 with the fastest lap of the race as well for him, with a time of 1 minute and 0.8 seconds for the fastest lap of the race. Amazing work from him there. Brilliant work from Sufor, and that will, I believe, by my maths, will certainly elevate him to the top of the standings of this year's championship. Our runners and riders are crossing the line now. We will wait for the timing tower to update and give you that information as we receive it. But what an evening for Sufor, and what a drive from him as well. JSK is going to wrap this up in P2. Such was the gap between himself and Sufor, and such was his command of this race. Sufor with a fantastic drive, but a great drive and a great result for JSK, who finishes this up with 41 seconds to distance in P2. Thamuli wraps this up in P3. A great result for him, completing the rostrum. Rony, series organizer, wrapping it up in P4 with a great haul of points. Motu Makari finishing in P5. Gabri P6. Michael P7. TJ, a race of two halves for him, finishing up in P8. Redman finishing in P9. Steve Martin, the man of the best defense, finishing up in P10. Tazka P11. And what on earth happened with Laguga wrapping it up in P12? We're hearing We're hearing shocks damage there that was irreparable and had to be sorted. He could not continue. So a real shame for Laguga, who was on for another podium finish. But P12, his run of bad luck continues. What a race, Xibin. There was a moment to relax throughout the entire 31 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. It was incredible. I think Sufor had a really, really big advantage, as we see on our screen. 41-second gap. That is a lot. And talking about a lot, we also have to point out that Michael Malik, our P7, he is lapped by 1 lap by Sufor. If he was nearly close to lap our top 5, and it is really, really well, you guys can see how fast he was driving. He was a really, really good driver. And obviously Paul Laguga on P12, obviously he chose the safe option, the safest option, which was not driving with broken suspensions. Maybe he has took the inside of of any corner. Maybe he jumped so much, his suspension couldn't resist and had to say, no, we have to end here.
I know there was so many incidents. There was so much bravery through the curbs there from all the drivers there, and even our non-finishers there as well were finding themselves victims of really big incidents. This track was incredibly punishing when the mistakes happened, but the master of it was Sufor with the best part of 2/3 a lap advantage over his fellow racers. Again, JSK and Thamuli making up those podium spots. I got to P12 with Laguga. I'll just finish up your final runners and riders. Hoss at P13, Manchester P14, Sidus Unite wrapping up in P15 as well. A race that really fell away from him, unfortunately. And again, my apologies for the commentator's curse. That moment will certainly live on to haunt me for the rest of my esports commentating career. Yanni Katia finishing up in P16, Hamani P17, and for Koppus, not able to finish the race, 8 laps down, Hachiroku 12 laps down, and Asuka 20 laps as well. Sufor setting the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, and apparently from what I'm seeing on the chat, Hemuli was the only guy that was going on R2s. So that's like medium tires, if we speak with Formula 1 terms. Apparently the, Sufor used Slicks 3, R3, which could be hard tires here. And yeah, I mean, it is really, well, not impressive, but it's a good job for Thermoli to keep the tires on temperature and finishing on P3. So my congratulations to him for that achievement.
Congratulations indeed. This has been one of the most punishing rounds that we have seen in quite some time, but what a great round it has been. And we have a new winner to the 2026 season, and it is all to play for in the championships. And to see how those standings look, you will have to join us on the 3rd of March, same place and same time here on Sim Broadcasts, to catch up with the next round, the 379th running of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race, where we will update you all on the championship standings and, of course, the next car and track combination for the next event. But with all that being said, my name is Kieran Redman. I've been joined this evening by Xibin Liu. I want to thank you all so much for your attendance. Thank you for supporting this amazing championship. And just a reminder for you, we have E-Challenge coming for you guys on Sunday. That is going to be the 3rd round of the E-Challenge Championship, and has been a great, entertaining one, and certainly one that you guys should certainly check out should you have the time. And you will find that live here on Sim Broadcasts as well. Thank you so much for your attendance, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Good night.